Hi there. Happy Monday. Hope you had a wonderful weekend so far. So, a strange thing happened. I felt like I needed to do a reading. Again, like I said earlier in my previous readings, I didn't really feel like I should be doing them on Facebook Live. But something told me to continue. Somebody is either watching these messages and getting something from it, or they will be, or I don't know. Not going to question it. But what's strange about it is I felt like it wouldn't be a good idea to do this particular reading or this particular live at home. I was very called to be outside. And so I got in my car, I brought a couple decks, and I just started driving. And I just let Spirit guide me, and I ended up here at a park. Nice little dog park next door, or next to me, I guess you could say. A nice shady tree area, tree grove, I guess you could say, with some picnic tables. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into whatever message wanted to come out. I also felt called to pull these personal value cards today. So let's start with those to see. I'm going to cut on peace and relationships. That's nice. I was going to say to see what the overall focus of this message is, but I don't want to speak before the cards actually come out. Justice. But I will say that I woke up in a very strange energy. Very calm, very peaceful. It's funny that a plane would fly over right then. But feeling like there was some sort of weird shadow or energy about still. Now there's a little ant climbing on the table. Can you see him right there? Hello. Interesting. So, yeah, the energy that I was feeling is interference. That's what it is. Because now that I'm looking around and realizing what's happening at this moment, there's a lot of distraction and a lot of interference. A lot of louder noises than were here when I first sat down. And so I feel like that's the energy, is there's an energy of distraction, interference from what you should be focused on or what your goals are. Okay, so take it as it resonates. Spirit, let's just get one or two cards to understand what the focus is. Creativity. Is that in frame? Yeah. Environment. Yeah, so changing your environment is going to somehow increase your creative abilities or allow you to be more creative. And aesthetics, yeah. Okay, what's interesting is that what I just got from this is you might be changing your environment to be more aesthetic, to be more in line with the energies that you're hoping to tap into or the energies that you're hoping to express. I stopped shuffling, and at the bottom of the deck we have forgiveness in reverse. So there's something here about, let me just move this incense. Ouch, ashes just fell on my hand. There's something about the need to forgive. And while I understand that as forgiving people or those groups of people who might have wronged you, what I really get is forgiving yourself for how you reacted to that. Okay? Yeah, thanks for that confirmation. With that crow above. And then also, just stopping again, altruism. I'm taking these reversals as emphasis rather than the opposite meaning. Altruism, this is coming in to say, make sure that you're not sitting in this altruistic energy where you're giving away your energy, you're giving away your power. Because that's what you believe is expected of you, or that's what you believe is the right thing to do, or that's what looks good, that's what looks aesthetic, that's what fits your MO. Okay? Make sure that you are protecting yourself and your environment. There's something about your environment. And not just your physical environment. What I'm also getting is, really randomly, is your hygiene. Your hygiene, really strange, so your energetic hygiene, not just your physical hygiene. So your hygiene in your spaces, you might need to be doing more smoke cleansing. You might need to do some sort of other Reiki cleansing, or outsource that to a practitioner who can. But there's a message coming in around cleanliness of your environment, hygiene of your energy, and family wealth. Okay, on the split there. Interesting. Okay. So I knew that I would be going somewhere wooded, so I grabbed the Sacred Forest Oracle and the Woodland Wardens. So what I said was weird is this silver Land Rover pulled up right behind me just now and threw away a whole bag of trash in this garbage can I didn't even see behind the tree, and then drove away. So I don't know, it feels like that was illegal dumping. But I feel like the message that wants to come out is you have to take out the trash, even if it feels like what you're disconnecting from, what you're throwing away, is, even if it feels like it's not the right time to do it. Weird. And then purification as I'm saying that at the bottom of the deck. Yeah. You might need to sever ties from something, and I just saw power with Dragon Spirit. You might need to sever ties from something. You may need to trim the fat. I don't really like these sayings. Trim the fat, take out the trash in your environment, but also just in your energetic hygiene. Okay? What else? What else? Activation. Spirit Guardian of Spring with 36, adding to a 9, and a swan here. I'm being very called to a swan. There's something about having grace in this period where you are cleansing your environment, where you're cleansing your energy and the people in your energy, where you're cleansing and activating the brighter aspects of your life. What else? And so what's interesting is I was feeling like I wasn't even supposed to be doing public readings for a while. But then I noticed when I walked into the kitchen this morning, 9:29 and 29 seconds. So I went and looked that angel number up, and it quite literally means, or a suggestion from spirit guides to lean into your gifts so that you can be of service to people. And that's what I hope these messages are of service to people in some way, uplifting in some way, motivating in some way, enlightening in some way. Okay? So you might be going through an activation which is the result of the end of a cycle. And what I get from the aesthetic card here is it might not look the way that you want it to. It might look messy to outsiders or to people who aren't going through these shifts and these waves in energy. What I'm being called to sort of call out is, don't worry about that. It doesn't matter how it looks to people. It matters how it feels to you and the power that you gain from it, the creativity that's going to begin flowing in. Okay, so this is an activation of creativity as a result of cleansing your environment and organizing your environment. Okay, yeah, your sanctuary. Something isn't, with sanctuary in reverse, there's something about your environment, whether that be your home, your work. Yeah, I think this has to do with the home. You might be moving. 10, we had a 9 first, and now this is a 10, completion. Yeah, so this actually, I believe this card should go here. So we have 2 and 6 is 8, 9, and 10. Something about your environment isn't safe. It's no longer a sanctuary. Your time has run out there. The fogginess, the unhygienicness, the dirty, I don't want to say dirtiness, but the uncleanliness of the environment is starting to bleed over into your energies. And so you're being asked to cleanse those energies and start anew. End this cycle and bring in new beginnings, or at least open yourself up to new beginnings. Another plane flying above. And what's interesting here about this message, wow, that's crazy. Okay, I'm getting chills too. So I said this swan represents grace. At the bottom of the deck we have Grace, wise woman of the grove. I'm quite literally in a tree grove right now. I'm not going to take this card, but the reason I even lifted it up is because there are daffodils in both. And this is 9-10. This is sequential. So you're being encouraged to have grace throughout this transition into this new beginning, because it's part of your activation. It's part of activating your creativity. It's part of cleansing your environment. It's part of realigning with the aesthetic that you wish to have, the aesthetic that you wish to hold. You're also being encouraged to have courage throughout this process. Yeah, graceful persistence at the bottom of the deck. And devotion as I'm shuffling here. So be devoted to your creativity, be devoted to your craft, be devoted to this new beginning, and going through and activating whatever needs to be activated, going through and clearing and healing wounds that need to be healed, so that you can step into your confidence and you don't have any bashfulness around your growth and where you're supposed to be going. Any advice? So that's some advice, but I mean, anything else to sort of close this message out for whoever might watch it, whoever might come across it? I am being called to do sign readings. So for each sign, which I will do after this. Healing, yeah. So there's healing that needs to take place in this environment, in this sanctuary, or what I'm really understanding from this is this deer here that has its set of antlers. Every season that I don't know whether it's in the winter or the spring, but every season that a deer grows antlers, they eventually fall off, right? So there's something about letting go of the antlers that are weighing you down maybe, or hurting you, healing that space, healing that environment, so that you can move forward into these new beginnings. And what I understand from this with oat is an extremely nourishing, flower. That's not a flower. Plant. An incredibly nourishing herb, but also food. But what I get from this here is the need to sort of soothe and heal your anxieties, to soothe and heal your external environment as well. So if there's something that has to do with your appearance, the way that you look, taking care of that, self-care in that aspect will help to bring in and support and nurture and nourish any feelings of low self-esteem or low confidence throughout this healing process. Okay. What I also understand from this is with deer being crepuscular, I always mess that up. Something puscular, which basically means they are most active around dusk and dawn. There's something about you sort of hiding away. Maybe the sanctuary is also here to say you need to find sanctuary to undergo this transformation, to see this activation through in the most graceful manner. And so there's something about you being like a deer, really only coming out and being seen during certain times of the day. And even then, you're not trying to be seen, right? You're just going out because you need to go out and do whatever you need to do, okay? For activation, a little more. Thank you. I'm seeing a pattern. Not but it's interesting. I'm seeing a pattern already with the cards that are coming out. We have four-legged, cloven, hooved animals. We have goat and the willow. And what's funny is, when I picked this spot, I was actually looking around at the different trees, and I was hoping to find a weeping willow tree. They're one of my favorite trees. There's something very healing about the way that they sway and blow softly in the wind. But here, this card is talking about overcoming obstacles. Willow tree, and then I know this isn't a willow tree back here, but there's still those sort of with the maypole, those things that will sway in the wind. There's even little spirit guidance and fairies in this picture. So in order to bring in this activation, to complete it with the most grace that you can, and then invite in this new beginning, you're being encouraged to overcome whatever obstacles were preventing your healing, whatever obstacles you might have in your environment that might not look the best. I don't want to touch on this energy too deeply, but I'm getting a sort of a darker energy, like you might have been sitting in your darker energies or expressing your darker energies. And that might be something that you need to let go of in order for these activations to come in. So yes, your obstacles might be with other people, right? But I'm also strongly feeling that this is some sort of internal battle as well. And that's what you should focus on, because you can't change how other people act towards you, how other people think about you. You can do your best, but in reality, you have no control over that. So you can only overcome the obstacles that you can judge and understand well, and then have control over, right? And most of the time, when it comes to other people, you don't have much control over that. You have control over yourself and your independence. Okay? So how can we invite this, new beginning in? Okay. Something about staying in your innocence. These two cards fell on the ground. Let's see what they are. We have introspection and deceit. So what I get from this is you might have been seeing things in not the correct light or not the correct perspective. And with deceit here, introspection came upside down. So this is really saying you really need to do more introspection. And with deceit covering it, it almost feels like you might have been in an energy where you believed something that wasn't true, or you had a certain perspective that was false and you knew it, but you allowed yourself to be deceived. You allowed yourself to believe that story, even though it might not have been for your highest good, or it might not have actually even been the truth. And yeah, what's funny is there's a weasel. There's a sort of weaselly energy here, okay? You might have tried to sneak or get around actually doing the inner work, actually doing the introspection and the reflection, and then taking action to change your circumstances. But when you do that, when you see through your own self-deceit, when you see the truth for what it is, and what's interesting is Datura is also known as Moonflower. The moon card in the tarot is what's coming to me, which represents revelations of truth, seeing the truth, mysteries, right? There's something about doing the introspection, really doing it. What's the word I'm looking for? Sniffing out, that's not the right word. But investigating why you feel this way, what made you feel this way in this situation, what the truth of the matter is, regardless of what your emotions or your thoughts are telling you. Like, you really have to sit there and do that introspection. Okay, so there's something about owning this, because if you've watched this far in the reading, you sort of already feel the energies of shifting towards a new beginning, towards change. And in order to have that come in quickly and gracefully with happiness and joy, you have to put down any falseness and look at the truth for what it is. Okay? And that might be falseness around false people in your life, but it also might be falseness around what you believe to be true in a certain situation. And I don't know your life, and I'm not going to put any color on that. Just going to leave that for you. Okay, I don't have any other cards, right? Oh, I do have my flowers. I was like, I'd like to end this on a happier note. Oh, and a bee just came by. Hello. Let's see. I'm burning my Lavanaya incense. It smells wonderful. Power and healing. Gentian trumpet. To get what you love, you first have to be patient with what you love. And I'm seeing a similarity here with the Datura. Ooh, Ooh, I just got crazy chills. There's two, so in the tree directly in front of me, I could just show you. The tree directly in front of me, there's two squirrels, and now he's just staring at me, doing the little Spider-Man, chasing each other around the bark. But the sound of that, I don't know why, it really like gave me chills right up the back of my spine. Interesting. So be prepared for this change, and be prepared to do the work required in this change. And now what's funny is in my last reading I talked about the squirrel because the squirrel card came out and how they flick their tail, and that's what one of them just made eye contact with me and started flicking its tail. Oh, it's a mama and a baby. Cute. Okay. So power in healing, there's power in healing in seeing through deceit. There's power in healing in this introspection and the new beginnings that come of it. Okay? This flower here, or this butterfly or this moth here is, to me, indicating the transformation and the revelation of truth. Okay? Trumpet Gentian. Being called to finish your message there. I hope you found this helpful, whoever comes across it. I will be uploading it on YouTube as well. And keep an eye out on my YouTube channel for those sign readings for the week, okay? If you did find this message helpful, please give it a like or comment below. Have a wonderful rest of your day.